Welcome back, goal setters and dream builders. This is Coach Ruti again. So last week we talked about expectations versus realities of moving to United States or Canada. And we also talked about the best countries that you should move or you should consider to immigrate to. So now that you know the best countries, you know the immigration expectations, the next question becomes, how do you actually legally immigrate to these beautiful countries? So today we're going to talk about immigrating to Canada, of course, because Canada is number one and that's where I am located. So we start home first. How do you legally immigrate to Canada? Because knowing that Canada is one of the best countries in the world, that is one thing. But understanding the immigration system is another thing as well. So today we are going to break down the immigration pathways so you can make your judgment having the information that you need. So pathway number one is express entry. This is the main program, really. This is the Canada most popular immigration system. So express entry manages applications for skilled workers and through 3 programs. So we have number one, the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Number 2, we have a Federal Skilled Trades Program. And we have Canadian Experience Class. So applications are ranked using a point system called CRS. This is comprehensive ranking system. And the points are based on different aspects of life, so such as age. The younger, the better. The younger you are, the more scores you get. And education, good education, is also another factor. But education depends on what the Canadian labor market is looking for. For example, let's say they're looking for engineers, then engineers get more scores, they get more chances to be selected. If they are looking for doctors, if they are looking for nurses, so depending on your qualification and depending on what the Canada is looking for, the shortage in labor market. So language, English or French, because Canada speaks both languages, French and English. And if you know both English and French, then you double the points. You get more chances of being selected because, you can work anywhere in French or English spoken region. The experience, you need also experience and you need job offer. If you have a job offer, then also that increases your chances of being selected. The higher the score you get, based on all these factors, the higher your chances are to be selected for invitation to apply for permanent residence. So one thing you need to know, applying is one thing, and being selected is another thing. So the higher your points, the better. See express entry as an immigration competition. Lots of people just apply and only the best, based on what the labor market is looking for. Those are the best that will be send an invitation to apply for permanent residence. So once you receive an invitation, actually it's like a guarantee that you're going to be approved for permanent residence. So pathway number 2 is Provincial Nominee Program, which is a PNP. So remember, Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. And all these provinces run their own immigration program, because this helps the provinces and territories to really select immigrants based on their labor market, what they are looking for. So they run their own immigration program. So the good thing here, like for example, we have Ontario Immigration Nominee Program, we have Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, and we have Nova Scotia Nominee Program. So let's say if a province nominates you, so that increases your chances of receiving an invitation, because once a province nominates you, you get extra 600 points on your scores. And actually, when your province nominates you, that means they need you, they need your skills, they appreciate what you have. So this is almost the guarantee that you're going to get your permanent resident. So once you are selected, that is really a good sign. Pathway number 3 is a study permit. So student pathway. Many immigrants come to Canada as international students first. So the first thing is to study in college, in Canadian college or university. So that is step 1. You study in Canada. And second, once you finish your studies, you apply for post-graduation work permit, which is a PGWP. So once you get your post-graduation work permit, then you apply for a job in Canada, you start working. So once you work for 6 months or at least a year, that's depending on the criteria, depending on the guidelines. Most of the time is 6 months or 1 year. You gain experience, Canadian experience, then you are qualified. You might be eligible. Most of the time you are eligible to apply for permanent residence. But the problem here is, the tuitions are very expensive. School fees very expensive, and sometimes your bank may ask you, are we immigrating or are we investing in a small country? It is a big investment, but I think it's worth it, because many people have been doing it and they continue to do it, and nobody complains. Of course it is a big investment. You have to put in some. If you are broke, you can't do it. This is for people who have really good finances. Big investment, but almost guaranteed that you're going to get you to what you need, what you are looking for, which is immigrating to Canada and start working in Canada. So pathway number 4 is work permit. So another pathway is coming to Canada as a foreigner worker. So this usually requires a Canadian employer, and they need to give you a job offer letter. And for the employer to do this, they need what they call a labor market impact assessment, LMIA, showing that offering you this position, they have tried in Canada locally to fill the position, and no Canadian citizen or a permanent resident who can fill this position. They need to prove that before they can be approved to do that. So if you are qualified, if they approve you to do that, then the next thing is to work and gain the experience of working in Canada. And later on, after mostly 1 year or 2 years, you can be eligible to apply now for permanent resident. And yes, Pathway number 4 is family sponsorship. Family sponsorship. If you have a family member, it doesn't matter they are citizen or they are permanent resident, they can sponsor you. So who can be sponsored? Spouse, children, common law partners, parents, and grandparents. So spouse could be a wife, a husband. Children could be biological children, could be adopted children. It doesn't really matter as long as you have documentation for that and you can prove that. But one thing I need to point out, you need to remember, marriage for immigration purpose only is illegal. And the immigration officers, they are very well trained, good investigators. They can really detect the fake marriage. So make sure you're doing the right thing. You mean it. You're doing the right marriage, not just for immigration to try to cheat the system. Pathway number 6 is business and investor immigration. So Canada also welcomes entrepreneurs. So this program includes what they call a startup visa program. They have entrepreneur provincial programs. They have investor pathways. So these programs really are designed for people who can come to Canada and invest money in Canada, start companies, start jobs, create jobs in Canada and give Canadian employment. So if you bring an economic value to Canada, Canada really, doors are open big. Because investment, you bring economic value, yes, those are open. Pathway number 7 is regional immigration programs. And so Canada also created programs to attract immigrants for smaller communities. So we have what they call Atlantic Immigration Program. We have the Francophone Immigration Pathway. And we have rural and northern immigration pilot. These programs really help regions that need workers in village area, in rural areas where not many people are interested to go. So these programs are designed to do that. And sometimes this program can be really very, very easy and very fast, depending on the labor market, depending on how shortage is on the market. So sometimes it go really fast. If you are qualified and you have all the you have met all the requirement, this can be very fast. So one thing I want to point out, regardless of pathway, regardless on any pathway that you applying to, most immigration programs require really documentation, and immigration is a serious business. So that's why documentation is very serious, and they double check this. They make sure you have all the documentation. So for example, for language, if you say you speak English, you need to have a proof. You say you speak French, you have to have your certificate for French or education assessment. If you say you are a doctor, you have to show that you have the documentation for your doctorate. If you are an engineer, you have that degree for engineer. If you are a nurse, you have that degree, a nursing degree. If you are a teacher, documentation. So proof of funds. If you say you're coming as an investor, you're going to create jobs in Canada, you need to show the funds. If you're coming to study, you need to show that you have school fees, that you can really support your studies and graduate without any challenges. So police clearance. Of course, they're trying not to bring in criminals. So you need to show your police clearance to show that you don't have any criminals on your back. Medical exams. Canadians need to bring in people who are healthy and strong and ready to work. So if you have those heavy diseases, they might reduce your chances of being selected or being sent an invitation to apply for permanent residence. So these are very critical, these are very important. So you need to work on those and provide the right information. One important truth I want to leave with you is many people believe that immigration is impossible. But the truth is that Canada welcomes hundreds of thousands immigrants every year. So the real question is not, is immigration possible? The real problem is asking yourself, are you prepared? Are you prepared enough and eligible? Do you have all the documentation required? Are you eligible? Because if you ask yourself this question and your answer is yes, then immigration is not a problem anymore. You just have to know which pathway you're going to apply for. Immigration is not luck. Immigration is strategy. Really, if you found out that you're not eligible, what you have to do, build your skills. Are you short on English or French? Are you short on experience? Are you short on understanding the system? Document yourself. Learn what you French. Learn the French. Understand the system, how Canadian system, immigration system works. If you do all those things and you prepare yourself, I'm telling you that Canada can be a real opportunity for you. And it is possible. It is possible. I told you hundreds of thousands every year land in Canada just through those legal pathways. You can be the one, you can be the next if you follow my advice here. So if you like this, if this helped you, really remember to click subscribe and like and share. Especially share this with someone who have the ambition to immigrate or move to Canada or anywhere abroad, really. So thank you. I will see you in my next session.